we believe that the system is decadent. We believe that there is poverty, hunger, and disease, or what Fela would call PhD. We crusade for that alternative.
Okay.
So we believe when the militant Boko Haram is seizing virtually part of the northeast, we believe there's an alternative to that. We crusade for that alternative.
Okay.
And we believe too that with a country like this in turmoil, a continent in crisis, and even a planet in peril, you need to come out. You don't need to be a politician. You don't need to be a chieftain in any of the states before you come out. Suffice it to say that even when we believe it, we don't believe in any political party. We credit characters that are proficient, characters that are transparent, seemingly. That is why even when we are saying we believe in all these things, we go to our private state. We believe in what Akpabio is doing. And the league is also there to support whatever it's doing so that it can midwife a successor.
Okay.
There's nothing that can be more transparent.
Okay, sirs, I think we should be very, very careful so that we don't turn this interview into a kind of encounter or war of words.
No, it's not.
We're here to chart a course forward because of this discourse. In the light of what we have said so far, is it safe to conclude that if things are not quickly, checked, that Nigeria may just be, treading the path of former Yugoslavia? And what possibly can we do to avert all this kind of situation? I'm talking to you, Egbo.
Okay. We all know what's happened to Yugoslavia. They loosely put together a federation, from 6 different republics, because they had a very strong leader. He was able to, hold the situation together. But the moment he died, internal contradictions, came surfaced, and eventually a civil war between Bosnia, Herzegovina, I think, and Croatia, which led to so many deaths and all that. Yeah. Eventually now they are all separate republics. The unfortunate part of all of this is that the US, a few years ago, had predicted that Nigeria was going to disintegrate in 2015, and now here we are in 2015. With all of these events playing out. So sometimes some people even tend to think that these things are orchestrated, perhaps to achieve a predetermined goal or result. But we don't believe that this is going to happen. From what I know, Mr. President is doing everything possible in the Pope to ensure that he not only leaves behind a united country, but in fact a much more united, where possible, country. So the way forward, just as we have been saying all this while, is for leaders really to not just be saying these things, pay lip service, but to actually enlighten, their supporters and also rein in those who are getting out of line.
Okay.
Asari Dokubo's case, is our brother, is our leader. But I think that at this time, I really don't think Nigerians should begin to worry themselves too much about what Asari Dokubo says, especially when he blows hot like this.
Okay.
I think it's mostly, basically because of what is happening, not necessarily because it's going to, or any one of us in the Niger Delta is going to go ahead and do.
Do you share something different? Do you have a different opinion?
Well. Where I differ is that, Asari Dokubo is a Nigerian. He has opinion he has his stand, he has his ground and constitutional right to express his opinion. But what is worrying is that if there is a meeting and that meeting is attended by a governor of the state where inflammatory statements are given, it becomes very disturbing. It's not only from Asari Dokubo's side, but from all the geopolitical zones. We should try and mellow down this, fear by America that Nigeria will disintegrate, God forbid. I think what is happening is that is this question of the evil past that refuse to quit the scene.
Yeah.
They want to dominate the present. They want to usurp the future. So if we are, that's why we want in all spheres. Whether in Rivers, Edo, Lagos, or what have you. I attended the political rally recently. You discover that in Edo State, Edo Central is the most powerful in terms of political actors.
Okay.
You have people like Tony Anemi, Kimi, Ubesia, and all that.
We will come back to that because we have.
I just wanted to.
I know we will continue from where you have stopped. At this point, we'll be going back to Abuja for Pan African news. Don't go. We'll come back. We'll continue with this discussion from the Lagos studio on Kaakaki, the African Voice. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome to our news desk. This is Pan-African World. United States Secretary of State John Kerry has met with President Goodluck Jonathan and Muhammadu Buhari, presidential candidates of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) and the All Progressive Congress (APC). President Jonathan said the meeting centered on a wide range of issues as he restates commitment to free and fair general elections. The meeting with the two leading candidates in the upcoming presidential elections is to appeal to both candidates to accept the result of the February 14 elections and instruct their supporters to refrain from violence. The visit is coming few hours after fierce battle between the Nigerian military and Boko Haram fighters in Maiduguri. And Zambia's ruling party, Patriotic Front (PF), emerged victorious in the country's highly contested presidential election. The Electoral Commission of Zambia (ECZ) announced on Saturday around 10 p.m. PF presidential candidate Edgar Lunu garnered 48.33% of the total votes cast, while his closest rival, Hakainde Hichilema of the United Party for National Development (UPND), gathered 46.67% of all votes, according to ECZ's official results. Lungu, who is also Defense and Justice Minister, got 807,925 votes, while Hichilema got 780,168 votes, indicating a difference of 27,757. About 1,671,662 out of the 5.1 million registered voters turned up to vote, indicating a low turnout of 32.36%. The election, held on January 20, had 11 candidates standing, but was marred by hiccups such as bad weather, which affected the transportation of election materials and staff, forcing the electoral body to extend the election for another 3 days. Yemeni politicians hosted a series of meetings in the country's capital on Sunday, January 25th, hoping to find a quick resolution to the political crisis after President Abdurabu Mansuri Hadi resigned earlier this week, throwing the country deeper into chaos. Yemeni President Abdurabu Mansur Hadi resigned on Thursday, January 22nd, days after Houthi rebels battled their way into his presidential palace, bringing more instability to the Arab country and depriving Washington of a key ally. General blamed the Houthis' control on Sana'a for impeding his 2-year-long attempt to steer Yemen towards stability. After years of secessionist and tribal unrest, deepening poverty, and U.S. drone strikes on Islamist militants, the announcement startled the Arabian Peninsula country of 25 million people, where the Iran-backed Houthi emerged as the dominant faction by seizing the capital Sana'a in September and dictating terms to a humiliated Hadi. Various political parties held meeting on Sunday, hoping the resolution to the political crisis could be found soon. And that's Pan-African World. We'll take you back to our Lagos Center. Kendi Ojo is standing by to continue with this interview.
About what all of this violence portends for the Nigeria's democracy and the polity, how continue. Let's like
I was trying to tell you, I was trying to reflect the neutrality of the league. Take, for example, they say charity begins at home. In Edo State, the league is in support of the candidate of PDP in the north. While in Central, they were decided to support the candidacy of APC, the president of Chief Francis in Egbeniki, usually have fish and land. So it's an indication that we really have no.
So you are saying that your own league is very, very neutral?
We are neutral, and what we believe in is the right cause.
Okay.
video, we'll see the right cause, I will support it.
Okay, now, Nategba, let's go to the issue of the peace accord recently, signed by the political parties to maintain peace. But there is nothing really to indicate that the political parties are actually, abiding by the dictates of that agreement.
I'm sorry, I won't even let it. No, I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
Nigeria is a very big country, and leaders have a responsibility, based on peace accord and all that, to ensure that what they have signed is also implemented down the line.
Yeah.
But as you know, there are different factors operating in different environments within the Nigerian polity. So it's not as if leaders are not committed. Well, at least from what I know, I'm talking mostly from the PDP perspective actually. I know that because I know Mr. President personally, because I've worked with him, and then so on and so forth. So I know that to a large extent, he's putting everything in place as much as he can to ensure that from the PDP perspective, that the peace accord is implemented to the letter.
Okay.
But then again, that at local settings, there are different conditions and circumstances that tend to make people at certain places do things based on their own
conviction.
Not necessarily conviction, but their own situation.
Okay.
Like for instance, in the case of River State, that the political atmosphere is a lot more charged than most other states, and everybody wants to prove a point. PDP want to ensure that they take back the state. APC too want to retain, the state. So the activity, the political activity there is a lot more higher. Or the atmosphere is a lot more charged, like I said earlier, than elsewhere. And so if we see what happened in River State, that does not necessarily mean that the PDP leaders, or that's not to say that those things were perpetrated by PDP people. But what I'm saying is that it's not as if those from the PDP perspective in that state, the leaders there, are not working assiduously to ensure that the peace accord is implemented.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm talking from the people's perspective, because I'm neither in APC or PDP, the two of the very big parties, so to say. I believe that the accord, since it's an accord, properly so called as a lawyer, if there is an accord, there should have been a sanction if that accord is broken. Okay. Since that accord is just there lying prostrate, stands to reason that anybody can still defeat that same accord. That's what they are doing. Okay. So if we have enough laws that guide, regulations and all that, we have laws that guide people when you fight in the public place to the detriment of people around. We have laws against acting and what have you. Yeah. It's just for the security operatives to have the will to ensure, to give flesh or muscle to that law. Okay. So the peace accord as it stands, is nothing but a sublime piece of mysticism on the high sounding nothing, except the security operatives are ready to rein in those supporters, that will cross the line. Okay. Until that is done, we are going to be blowing a muted trumpet.
Okay, because of our time. Because of our time, sir, let's just go straight to all we have discussed so far. Do Nigerians have any cause to worry?
No, I don't think so, personally. Honestly, I don't. Like the things that happened in the north, I think that they are just those things were perpetrated by, miscreants, uninformed young people, perhaps who may not even be core party people per se, who are just, some of them are actually misled, and some were put together by some other people, maybe to embarrass the PDP, to make it appear as if PDP does not have a foothold, especially in the north. So I don't think that, I think there are things that we just fizzle out, with time. Bet, that does not mean that leaders should rest on their oars. Definitely not.
So there's need for everybody
there's need, like I said before,
hands to be on
public enlightenment.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's hear from you.
Well, I think it has to be explained the way it is. The Bauchi attack on the motorcade of the president I was reading recently was orchestrated, even from members of the same party. Yagudu has just told us. So it is good for us to really check out what we are doing. And it is that accord that I believe orchestrated the attack and burning of the secretariat in Okika.
Okay, sir. So we'll just leave it at that. And this morning from the Lagos Center, we have looked at the issue of violence in politics. And the question we are asking is 2015 polls is Nigeria going the way of Yugoslavia? And this morning from the Lagos studio have been joined by two gentlemen. First, Abubakar Yesufu. Abubakar Yesufu is legal practitioner, former president, Student Union, University of Benin, and currently chairman, League of Patriotic Lawyers. Thank you for coming on Kaakaki this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you know that Abubakar has not been here alone. He's been joined by Nathan Egba, who was a former commissioner in Bayelsa State and is also a PDP leader in that state. You also, I want to thank you for being a part of the program from this end. At this point, I want to take you back to Abuja for the continuation of the program. We'll be back here in Lagos for newspaper review and another interview from Lagos. Don't go away.
Change. Those who make history must first ruffle some feathers.
Look at us.
Good luck, Abele Jonathan, championing the change we can see.
We are changing. Nigeria is changing.
On my watch, we have witnessed high national economic growth rates, steady improvements, and expansion of national infrastructure.
What God has joined, let no man separate. God loves Nigeria. Unite and continue with good luck. A message from protectors of Nigerian posterity.
Embracing life to the full means coming into contact with germs,
Feeling brightly energized.
which could mean facing some unexpected